Before I would trade for Duke Johnson, I would trade for this guy. Before I would trade for Jordan Howard, I would trade for this guy. He plays with the 49ers, and his name isn't Jerick McKinnon. Still the cowboy, Mr. McClain. You Americans are all alike. But this time, John Wayne doesn't walk into the sunset with Grace Kelly. Scary Cooper, asshole.
Oh shit! Oh shit! That was crazy!
Happy trails, Hans.
Dallas still stinks.
You're Baidu, King Dingbat here, and are you like me? Well, you're probably not like me. I'm a dingbat. I'm the biggest idiot there ever was. You're probably not that big of a dingbat. But are you on the edge of your seats, waiting, trying to figure out what the Eagles are going to do at the running back position? Is it driving you crazy? It's driving me nuts, to be honest with you, that we're this far in the free agency and we have done nothing yet. And I got to tell you, I've said all along, the Eagles don't just need one running back. They need two running backs. One of them has to come out of the draft, and then one of them has to be a free agency signing, a trade, or whatever. Now, I've made it clear I am not impressed with any of the free agents left. And I have already done videos on talking about different trade partners we could possibly have. I mean, we've talked about Duke Johnson. We've talked about Leonard Fournette. We've talked about Jordan Howard. We've talked about David Johnson. I even threw out Melvin Gordon because he's in the last year of his contract. We've talked a lot about running backs, but we haven't seen it. And yesterday, we saw the Eagles go out and sign Ronald Darby to an extension for $8.5 million for 1 year. Now, a lot of us thought, hey, you could have used that money and got a running back, paid Tevin Coleman, done something like that. Me personally, I don't mind bringing Ronald Darby back for 1 more year because I think that adding a veteran guy, even though he's young himself, but adding him to a lineup where you have so many young guys, especially, at the corner position, that it may not be a bad thing, and it's 1 year, and hey, if he can live up to his talent, we'll be okay. But signing Darby may have done one other thing for the Eagles. It may allow them to use having him back to trade one of their other defensive backs, possibly for a running back. Now, there's one guy I'm specifically talking about trading. That is Jalen Mills. You can maybe use Jalen Mills and a late round pick and make a trade. Now, in San Francisco, the trade winds, they're blown. They're blowing, they're out there because they know that they have a situation at running back where they have too many. They have too many running backs, okay? Yesterday, the Niners signed Raheem Mostert back with them for, I forget how long it was, but they're bringing him back, okay? They also, a couple days ago, signed Tevin Coleman. Last year, they signed Jerick McKinnon. Okay, so they're kind of crowded at the running back position. And Shanahan, the head coach, made a statement recently, I don't know if it was yesterday or a few days ago, but he said they never ever used 4 running backs on game day. They've never had 4 running backs in the lineup. But Mostert will be in the lineup because he's such a great special teams player. That means now that there's only going to be 2 other guys most likely playing and active each week. So who is on the outs? Who is going to go from the 49ers? And it's not Mostert and it's not Tevin Coleman. That leaves 2 guys, Jerick McKinnon and Matt Breida. Okay? Now, here's the thing with McKinnon. He is coming off a torn ACL, just like Jay Ajayi. He also has a $6 million cap hit this year. I think it's like 6.5 million, somewhere around there. Next year it increases, and the following year it increases. If they cut him, it's like over a $6 million dead money hit with basically under $300,000 of savings. So yes, the 49ers could afford that dead money hit, but do they really want to do it? Teams, do they really want to do that? And I think the chances of McKinnon getting traded because of his contract, because of him coming back from a torn ACL. I think it's likely that they probably won't cut him and they probably won't trade him, which leaves one other guy, Matt Breida. Now, Matt Breida, he is in the last year of a contract. He is to make like $600,000 in cap space, okay? So he's very affordable. He also is a guy that came on last 2 games of 2017, came on last year, and I think he really thought he was going to be more, get more of a chance or earned a spot on the 49ers, of more of a starting role. He came in last year when McKinnon went out, and he performed fantastic. Let's go over some of his stats. So, Breida is a 5'11", 190-pound running back. He is very fast. I think he was actually clocked as the fastest running back last year. Okay, so he had 153 carries for 814 yards last year. He averaged 5.3 yards per carry with 3 touchdowns. Now, he also had 27 catches for 261 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he's $645,000 against the cap this year. He would draw more interest for the 49ers. He would earn a draft pick from the 49ers, for the 49ers rather. He is an explosive player who would fit the Eagles better than Jordan Howard, and I think is better than Duke Johnson, okay? He is also 24. I think he just hit 24. And, the thing with running backs is you want to get them on their way up. This kid came on in the end of 2017, last 2 games. He came on, he played pretty well last year. He got a little nicked up. He's had injuries before, but he played really well last year. And I think he's only going to get better. The Eagles should, in my opinion, before you go out and get Duke Johnson, before you go out and get Jordan Howard, you should look to get Matt Breida. He should be the first guy out of all 3 of those guys that they should get. Now, of course, if there was a situation you had a David Johnson, Melvin Gordon, one of those guys, those guys would take precedent. But from the guys that we've heard are getting shopped, he is the best guy that they can get. He could replace and be in that Darren Sproles role, I feel, for the Eagles. If he was on the Eagles right now, he would be by far their best running back, by far. Okay? Now, what is he going to cost? I can't imagine the 49ers getting more than maybe a 4th or 5th round pick for him, at most. Maybe not even that much. His role is going to be diminished with the arrival of Tevin Coleman. Raheem Mostert is there. He is going to be active every Sunday because of his special teams play, especially. Jerick McKinnon is making too much money for the 49ers to just not activate. So they're going to have to say, hey, we can cut McKinnon and we can, pay his $6 million plus dead money hit this year, another $4 million in dead money hit next year, $2 million. They could afford it, but teams don't like to do it. Matt Breida, last year of his contract, he may walk next year for free anyways. Why not take a draft pick for him? You have a guy that can replace him in Tevin Coleman. This guy is explosive. This kid I like a lot. I think he's an ascending player, 24 years old. I think the Eagles, hey, look, maybe you can say, we'll give you a late round pick and Jalen Mills. The 49ers, from what I've heard, they could use another defensive back on their team. Why not? You can never have too many defensive backs. So Matt Breida, I think, is the guy the Eagles should target. And there's talk that I've heard this morning, even late last night, that he is a potential guy that the 49ers may move. Now, they like him, but just because he could provide them something back in return, as where McKinnon really can't, the that he may be the guy that they go ahead and try to move. And the Eagles need to jump on this. And I had to come out here, I had to talk about this because I think that this is very likely, or I shouldn't say likely, but very possible. This is very possible that it could be a trade that happens with the Eagles. And it would make a lot of sense. I will leave his highlights in the description box. Click on the link. Go watch this kid. I'm telling you, this kid is fast. He is explosive. Now, I have to say this. He is not the end-all, be-all at the running back position for the Eagles. You still have to draft a running back. You still need a guy that could be a complement with Breida. So I would probably say if I got Breida in, you can, look at a guy who could get short yardage, who can run north-south. I mean, a Josh Jacobs kind of guy, Benny Snell kind of guy, Miles Sanders, and I love Darrell Henderson. I love that kid. But I think any of those kind of guys, with this kid, you have a great running back combination. Then you have the complement of Clement coming back. You still have, I don't know if you would keep Smallwood at that point, but Clement would still be there. Maybe Josh Adams can show us something. But I think I would be very comfortable with our running back position at that point. And I think with Breida's explosiveness, with Deshaun Jackson on the other side, this offense would score 30 points a game. 30 points a game as long as these guys stay healthy. So Matt Breida is the rumors are out there. The 49ers are moving one of these two running backs. It's either going to be McKinnon or Breida. And I'm betting Breida. So keep your eyes out on that. Let's hope maybe the Eagles do this one. And we'll see what happens. With that said, tell me what you think. Take care. Talk to you later. Don't be a dingbat.